Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we'll be highlighting American celebrities who have passed away today and in the last few days, along with other notable figures from around the world. Before we proceed, we kindly ask you to show your love and support by giving this video a like. It means a lot to us. Thank you. And now, let's begin.
I seem to be able to put my feelings down in a song easier than I can talk about it. I play me better than anybody.
One person cannot change the entire world, but one person carrying a message can. At 92, Willie Nelson looks back on his life with a kind of astonishing calm. The kind of calm that only comes after surviving things most of us never want to imagine. But what made him so strong? What taught him to accept life with the quiet grace that mesmerizes the world? And as always, before we step into the mysteries of Willie Nelson's life, please leave a like and a subscribe so we can continue sharing heartfelt stories like this. Thank you so much. Willie Hugh Nelson was born on April 29, 1933, in Abbott, Texas, in the middle of the harsh Great Depression. But why would a child born into poverty carry wounds that never fully healed? The answer lies in a memory so painful that Willie carried it his entire life. His mother left when he was only 6. She promised she would come back when things got better, but those better days never came. His father remarried, and Willie was left asking himself, what did I do wrong? But why didn't a child like that collapse under the weight? Because his grandparents saw something in him. They placed a guitar in his hands when he was 6. Just a small gift, yet it saved his life. Willie wrote his first song at 7, stood on stage at 5, but one question still lingered. How could music possibly mend a childhood full of wounds? The answer came from loneliness. As Willie picked cotton under the 100-degree heat with poor laborers, his small hands bleeding, he understood that life would never be easy for him. But what stopped him from giving up? Perhaps because each night, when he picked up that guitar, he realized music would never abandon him, unlike the people who had left far too soon. In Nashville, he married Martha Matthews and had 3 children. But why would someone with such talent still struggle so much that he sold books door to door, slept on friends' couches, and counted pennies just to get by? Willie wrote songs that became hits for others, while he himself failed again and again. And where did that disappointment lead him? One freezing winter night, he lay down in the middle of a Nashville street, waiting for a car to end everything. Why did he do that? Because sometimes, when life has taken too much, the most frightening thing is not death, but having to continue. Tragically, his life held another blow, stronger than anything before. Why did Christmas of 1991 become Willie Nelson's most painful memory? Because his son, Billy, who carried the same sensitivity as his father, ended his own life at 33. They had planned to record a gospel album together. Everything was ready. So what kept Billy from waiting for that day? Depression, pressure, the overwhelming shadow of a famous father. Willie almost never spoke about this pain, because how does a man speak when his heart has already broken? The tragedies did not stop. 1 year before Billy's death, the IRS stormed Willie's home. Why would an artist who never cared about money end up with a $32 million debt? Because the people he trusted had mishandled his money for years. And why didn't he declare bankruptcy to protect what he had left? Because Willie refused to let anyone suffer because of him. He chose the hardest road, recording the IRS tapes, selling his belongings, and taking every performance he could, big or small, to pay the debt back dollar by dollar. And then came the breath. Breath, the thing that keeps life going. Why did Willie have to fight for every breath? A collapsed lung, then emphysema, then repeated bouts of pneumonia. And in 2022, when COVID-19 came for him, Willie could barely draw in a full breath. Why did he survive? Because Annie, his devoted wife, turned their home into a full-time care center. But perhaps the question that haunts Willie the most is this: why am I the last one left? Jennings, Cash, Christopherson, the Highwayman brothers, each of them gone. Every funeral was a reminder that time is not a friend to anyone. Yet instead of fear, Willie learned to cherish every day he could still sing, love, and breathe. And that is why today, looking back on his 92 years, Willie Nelson does not speak of fear. He speaks of gratitude, of the lesson that sometimes the bravest act is not fighting life, but accepting it with a peaceful heart. If you could sit beside Willie Nelson for just 1 minute, what is the first question you would ask him? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can continue joining us for deeply human stories just like this one.
I'd love to meet you guys. I've never been to Ireland. Super excited, so come on down. I'm sure we'll have a great time.
Ethan Brown, the soulful actor and model once seen in Raising Helen alongside Kate Hudson, has tragically passed away at the age of 52. He was found unresponsive in his home on the morning of November 25th, a heartbreaking loss confirmed by his father, singer-songwriter Jackson Browne. Born into the spotlight, Ethan first captured the world's attention as an infant, cradled by his father on the cover of Rolling Stone in 1974. But life dealt an early blow. His mother, Phyllis Major, passed when he was just a toddler, leaving behind a silence that shaped the man he would become. Ethan carved his own path, moving gracefully between film and fashion. With angular features and a gaze that seemed to whisper untold truths, he became the quiet presence in campaigns by Isaac Mizrahi and later on the big screen. In 2004, he appeared in Raising Helen, a role that revealed his understated strength. He later founded Spinside Records, continuing the family's musical legacy in his own measured way. His greatest role, however, was that of a father. Jackson Browne once said, "When I see him in his movies, modeling with his daughter and being such a great dad, it makes me very proud. It makes me feel I've done something really right in my life." This is our final farewell to a man whose life was not loud, but deeply lived. If Ethan Brown touched your memory or moved your heart in any way, we invite you to share your thoughts below, in remembrance of a quiet light that never needed the spotlight to shine.